Welcome back. This is Fantastic Pains and How We Hide Them. I am not Chris.
And I'm not Karina.
But we're here together.
And it's season 4.
It is season 4. We're back. We have fun new things. All the new things.
Yeah.
We upgraded.
Hopefully you can notice the upgrades.
Yeah. We're in 4K.
we are. We're going to be in 4K.
It's really fucking cool.
Mm-hmm. And we sound better.
Uh-huh.
And we have better lighting.
My foot is cramping.
And her foot is cramping. We added that on over the week. Good old cramp foot.
I'm trying. Hold on.
Oh.
Ow. Ah. Please stop.
Oh, now my foot hurts.
Sympathy pains.
Yep.
Okay. That was, there we go.
That was the thing.
Season 4, season of the foot. Please.
Like the
God,
ninjas.
no.
Anyways.
Ninjas?
Yeah, the foot ninjas from Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I tried to bring it PG.
I was thinking thumb thumbs.
Okay.
Like my brain went
Anyway.
kid friendly to not so kid friendly to scarred for life.
Yeah. What are we going to be talking about?
Ooh, we have fun topics actually. We pulled from our Discord. We
Yes.
have a Discord. Go check it out. The link is in our description as always. You want to tell them what else is in our description real quick?
Oh, yes. If you want to find us other places, we're on YouTube. We're now in 4K. It's amazing. Come say hi.
Woo, woo.
Otherwise, we're on Spotify and Amazon Prime, their
Google
book service.
Podcast, I think.
Google, yeah. And then a couple other ones.
Just
but not
Apple.
Not Apple. Never Apple.
Just,
They know what they did.
yeah.
We also have a TikTok where we
Yep.
put funny in-between bits or things that got cut.
Yep.
And
You can watch us be dumb.
yeah.
We're dumber than we normally are.
Mm-hmm.
But this will be exciting because we can shoot straight through and we won't have to stop
Right.
for anything.
It's
These
weird.
episodes are going to be 7 hours long.
Just like Crystal wants them. 7-hour episode.
We'll just talk forever. We need to start just live streaming just random things.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
It's going to be perfect.
Mhm.
So today we've got like a slew of really amazing topics that everybody picked out. So we're going to talk about comorbidities. So being able to sort what is what, and trying to get providers to understand that there are lots of different factors at play and different things do different things at different times.
And knowing when to take them seriously and when to not.
Right. Like what's an emergency and what isn't,
Mhm.
which is perfect because that fits right in with our baseline topic of last week, which
Yeah.
is great. Then we're going to be talking about the difficulty that some people have with accepting the chronic part of chronic illness. And I'm not talking about sufferers. I'm talking about people we interact with.
Mhm.
Because that is a thing.
When they're surprised, you're still ill.
Right. Like you didn't magically get better since they saw you last. So, and then we're going to be talking about chronic illness in the media and how that is kind of perpetuating stereotypes and creating a template for disability and illness.
Yeah, what it looks like to them, what people expect us to look like, and how
Right.
that doesn't mesh.
Yes, exactly. But before we do that, it is time for the weekly recap.
Check in.
Woohoo!
It's been a week.
We did stuff.
I'll talk about that stuff. I'll go first.
Okay.
So, begin the week. Week 1, the beginning.
The reckoning.
Still recovering from being sick.
Mm-hmm.
Taking it easy. Didn't have any appointments or anything last week, which is nice. Kinda.
You had to cancel one because you were sick.
Yeah, the endodontist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were coughing.
Yeah, I couldn't go in with uncontrollable coughing
Right?
to have them work on a tooth.
Because we had like mad tickle coughs.
Oh yeah,
Really bad.
I still do. I'll probably cough a ton on this one, but we'll see.
Both of us.
We also got our funding that we've been waiting for,
Mm-hmm.
so we were able to upgrade,
Yeah.
and we have new toys.
We have lots of new toys.
We have new toys still coming in too.
Yep.
Like we're replacing our DAC with a better one.
Mm-hmm.
We have new lights, new camera, new microphones. We have better setup for multiple people too.
Yeah.
We'll have
We have tons of stuff.
yeah, it's gonna be great.
Which is like, I'm so excited. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, season 4 has arrived. We don't know what our slogan is yet.
No, Untitled Project season 4.
Help us figure that out, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But it was time, and it was like right on time too, which was perfect. Because I think season 2 and 3 had the same amount.
They should.
Yeah.
At least in like episodes that were lost too, because I think we had to get rid of some. In season 2.
That's fair. Interesting. So season 4, it's here, and it's bigger and better than ever. Ha. Enjoy.
More of the same. It's fine. We spent a lot of time. We spent a lot of time playing with this stuff and setting it up too. So
it's like Farmville. We just upgrade.
Yeah.
You just
hit
like,
the upgrade button.
Hit the upgrade button.
Yeah, and that's where we're at.
Yeah.
We delayed our recording until we got the camera. So
I'm glad we did too. It looks killer. I'm excited. But we did do a live yesterday.
We did.
So we were a day late on our live and 2 days late on our shoot.
Yeah.
No,
it was a good live though.
2 days. Yeah, 2 days on both, actually. It was a good live. It was a lot of fun. I just love being live with our people.
Yeah.
They're just great people. I love them.
We're going to try and do more different times too so that other people can get in.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to know, like, 1, when people are free, 2, when they're going to feel up for socializing.
Right.
And then 3, if we're up for socializing.
We're going to be up for it. Yeah. Exactly.
We have to wait for the stars to align.
Right. The great conjunction.
Yeah.
Where do we want to start today?
You said earlier that it would be good to start with one of them. I can't remember which one.
I think we'll start with you're still sick.
Yeah.
Because I think that'll lead in nicely to everything else. And then we can do the comorbidities in the second half.
That works.
And that'll be perfect. I say as I walk in, improving absolutely everything all
as
the
always.
time. So
yeah,
we'll see. Stick
new.
Around and find out. Who knows? So this is the idea of people like literally forgetting that chronic illness means chronic, like ongoing, still there forever. But like we talked about before, where people, I don't know, they judge so much on what they see. Yeah. And so when they see you being invisible, I guess, they're like, oh, they're well, right? So that's the presumption, I guess. And then when you use a mobility aid, they wind up seeing that and being like, oh my God, it's dire. Right. So we have these like
extremes,
2 extremes and nothing in the middle.
Yeah.
And that is so frustrating. And to be like, I don't feel good. And having people who know exactly what's going on be like, oh, I'm sorry. What's wrong? Right. And you're like, I still have EDS.
Well, and
I woke up this morning and it didn't go away.
Like Jen was saying, I didn't know her friends did that. But she was talking about in the Discord that her friends were like, oh, Chris is still ill? That's still happening?
He's
like,
still not feeling good?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they knew it was chronic at that point.
Right.
Like, we didn't know.
But it's that whole idea of like, oh, he's still not feeling good?
Right.
Like, or again? Again? That one's gross. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It always comes off like I'm just ditching them to be obnoxious.
Right.
Like,
well, because
I just don't have energy.
Everybody's all self-centered. We're all like so wrapped up in our own stuff all the time.
Yeah.
That, of course, we're like, oh, it must be about me in some way. They're ditching me. You're like, it has nothing to do with you.
He never shows up.
I am still chronically ill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like our grandfather worrying about my ankle.
Yes. He very much cares about your ankle.
Which is funny to me because, like, not funny, haha, but like, right now my ankles are like bags of bones. You just squeeze them and it just clicks around in there and makes disgusting noises.
They're kind of like stress toys, you know?
Yeah. You just manipulate them. I don't know. Ew. Thank you for making me think about that. I good.
Hey, I thought you had to be a part of it too.
Courtesy thought. Like a courtesy
I wanted
snitch.
to share.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I had the cane at one point. After I had dislocated my ankle just one time over here. And I was like, no, the cane's not because of the ankle. The cane's because I'm like having trouble standing up. But then he went and was like, is she okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then was asking about my ankle today.
Yeah. I'm still worried about your ankle.
Yeah. Which, they're still garbage, but
Which is what I said. I was like, I don't think she ever got it solved, but it's not as dire.
Yeah. I'm like, it's almost never dire.
Yeah.
Well, and that's part of the problem is like, what is dire? What is dire to us? And then what's mild to us looks dire to lay people.
Right.
So when you're like, I'm not going anywhere with a heart rate of 215.
God, no.
You're like, just wait 5 minutes. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
No, it's not good. Your knee's killing you.
Yep. Slowly.
But surely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that whole idea of like, I don't understand why it is that way either, though. Because people who know what we're going through still ask in weird ways.
Yeah.
That are like, oh, I didn't know that was still like affecting you.
Yeah.
Because they can't comprehend that like something could be wrong and perpetually wrong for that long, I guess.
Well, especially if they think we're making progress. Like for us, we've been getting surgeries done, right? So in people's heads, it's like, oh, they're making progress to being better.
Oh,
you see what I mean? Like they've had surgery, they've done this, and they did PT.
See, I always view surgery as like the opposite. People are gonna look at it and be like, oh my God, that's a lot. Like, oh my God.
Well, yeah, before, but like post surgery, it's in their heads. Oh, recovery, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
like,
that's true.
it's a
recovery.
Solution. Yeah.
Ugh.
It's a solution to your problem.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It is very solution based thinking, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Because I was thinking about, I don't know, like when they view what they view as recovery, and they're like, oh, like these are trends, and you're like, I would not try to pull trends out of this if I were you.
No, don't.
It's a little foolish. You could try, but it's not going to make any sense.
Right.
But that's the hard part, because either you look sick or you don't look sick, and you can't look sick sometimes and not look sick sometimes, and then you're still faking. Be sick the whole time, right? Like,
or you're doing it for attention. That's the hardest part about EDS, is that there are days when we need our mobility aids and days that we don't, and it's gonna look as though we're either doing it for attention or faking it.
Right. Well, it's the same problem we talked about with like ambulatory wheelchair users.
Yeah.
Where you're like, yes, they can walk. Does that mean that they like should have to, like, if you're not paralyzed, you can't use a wheelchair.
Right.
And that's that like lay perspective of weirdness where they're like, oh, you can walk.
Right.
That's lazy of you to be in a wheelchair.
Mm.
Where like, oh, you're taking advantage of something.
Right. Like you don't belong.
Right.
Mm.
It's like gatekeeping, but for your own illness.
Yeah.
You're like, please stop gatekeeping my health. That feels weird and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dang.
I was hoping you had something more on it.
No, I'm lost in thought. I'm now thinking about if I ever need to use a wheelchair, how impostery I'm gonna feel.
I always
on my own.
I literally always do.
Yeah, because like even coming like out of the hospital when you're being discharged. Yep. You're like, I don't need.
You're
this,
like, I can
guys.
walk,
like,
and they're like, you just had hip surgery. Sit down. Sit down.
Be good.
You're like, but I can walk. I swear, doc.
Mm-hmm.
Falls directly on face.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a fall risk.
Me too.
I'm a permanent fall risk.
Perpetual. Oh, we're chronic fall risks.
Yeah, there you go.
Still a fall
Are you still
risk?
falling?
Are you still do that? Like, I thought you were getting better at walking. I am sometimes, but not all the times. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't say that to like somebody who was. I don't understand why it's different. Like, sick is sick, but for us, we see it that way, right?
Yeah.
But where do they get all of those like weird stereotypes that they try to plug in the formula for being ill?
Yeah, it's
right, there's like a secret checklist.
Oh, totally. Well,
like,
there's you got to think of it like when you think of someone who's ill, something pops into your head, right?
Okay.
You're gonna be like, oh, like depending on how it's worded, you're gonna be like, oh, someone's sick.
Yeah.
Or someone's disabled.
Right.
You say disabled, they're gonna imagine something really severe.
Yeah.
But like we don't look like any of that.
No.
And we're not represented that way.
No.
Like the only EDS representation I've seen in like medical shows was this one time on House when he goes, oh, you have
POTS.
EDS. Yeah, it was the POTS
It
one.
was the POTS one.
Yeah, you have POTS. That's a symptom that comes with EDS. And she's like, okay, I feel great. And then that was it. It was like a subplot to a subplot.
I saw the really dramatic one where the girl is in the ER and they're like, oh, she's anorexic. Oh, she's drug seeking. Like, they took it very far. It was weird. And then they were like, she's like, fine, fuck this, I'm leaving. I hate you people. I just came here for fluids. I'm out.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, stop. And someone grabs her arm and she's like, ah, and her shoulder dislocates. And then she's like, don't touch me. And she pulls it back in. It was very,
wow.
Like, throw yourself on the mattress, princess style.
Very. Jesus.
Yeah. But that's literally the only thing I've ever seen on EDS, aside from hearing about like artists discovering that they have EDS or might have EDS. Yeah.
There, on like reality shows, there's sometimes people that'll like have it. I've seen that before.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I have not.
But it's not ever explained or gone into. It just they have to be more careful when they do things is what it boils down to.
Right. Well, but and it's hard in like reality shows like that too, because I can imagine it being used as this like token system.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, they had to defy all the odds to be here.
Yep.
With their like illness. And then you're like, okay, so great. You can be ill, you can be a faker, or you can be a hero.
Where's the guy who's stuck at home because he can't do things? I need that representation. I need the dad who's stuck at home.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to go out? No, I really don't. It hurts.
Right?
I'm going to stay home.
Right. I don't know how they got this like Spider-Man. Like they canonized her. I think it's a her. I don't know for sure. The one with EDS.
Oh, yeah.
Which is funny to me, but also I'm like, no, if she had EDS, like, you'd be tired. You'll be way too tired. You know fight crime. You go to sleep now.
She would be super
you
tired.
You take a nap right here. Oh, my God.
That's not her superpower. If she gets spider powers, like, or exaggerated versions of powers, if she has EDS, she'd have super EDS.
She'd have super EDS. Her webs are just her skin.
Oh,
that's gross.
That is.
I'm
you should
so
feel
sorry.
bad. Go home.
I feel bad about that. I apologize.
That
was a little just too far. Too far. Ew. Yeah, no. But she has like her forearm crutches, and I'm like, that's awesome. But you are still like swinging around, kicking bad guys in the face, and running around at night, and then doing stuff during the day.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Right.
Wrong. You're wrong. We be tired.
Incorrect.
We want to go to sleep.
And it's also weird to think about, in general, just how many other conditions there are that are like ours, that are just like offshoots of a generalized disorder.
Yeah. That
get no representation.
Right. Because there's like the really big ones that get all of the like focus and attention because they can romanticize them.
I was gonna say ours isn't sexy.
Right.
We can't. Our PR team, the EDS PR team, is not
slacking
on
off.
Yeah, they're like,
we have not made a calendar.
They're good in circuses. Like, yes, freak shows. Thanks.
Right. Or like that one girl who's like, I taught myself how to be a contortionist, and I'm so happy. And you're like, hi, you're 16. Wait like 5 years.
Wait till you regret that decision.
5 years. Come tell me how much you love. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You hate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All of your discs are bulging.
Welcome to the party.
Got it.
Come, I'll have
welcome.
Tea. We'll sit down.
But like, great, celebrate your differences, but like, also, it's not just like a weird quirk.
Right.
Like, it's not just party tricks, which I feel like is a lot of the media and a lot of the like, not necessarily media, but a lot of the writing that's around it also. Yeah. So when people, doctors sometimes go to look things up, they're like, oh, it's the weird stretchy skin one.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I heard that it has this weird feature to it.
Well, yeah, well, think about it. Like, if our doctors can't even get it right, what chance does a writer have of finding the intricacies of EDS?
Yeah. It's impossible. And it's just, And it's such a nuanced thing because it's a snowflake disorder, right? Like everybody is impacted differently to a different degree with different symptoms occurring at different rates. We kind of mirror each other, but there's also different things going on different places. But even that, like within the genetic family and like bug, full sibling, for me, I can make that comparison and be like, yeah, no, this is different. Like there's similarities, but it's different, and it's different for everybody, and it's different for everybody depending on their mindset going in.
Oh, totally.
And it's different depending on when they got ill. Because as we've said before, like there's a big difference, I think, between like getting ill and growing up ill. Because we don't have that basis for comparison.
Yep.
We don't have to look around and be like, oh, all that stuff I missed doing, but other people do. And we've seen it like even in group.
Oh yeah, totally.
They're like, oh, I can't do the thing because of my thing. And you're like, oh, okay. But everybody's at a different place in that journey. Like we're all walking the same way. We're just different legs of the journey. I don't know.
So then, okay, what kind of representation would you like to see? Like if you had like a generic doctor show, what would you want your EDS representation to show? Like
flippant. I want it to be because we are very dismissive.
Yeah.
And people who are in chronic pain, and this is the part that's not often like communicated, right? We see a lot of shows where people in chronic pain are like, when's my next pain pill? But you don't see the one who's like, yeah, I don't know, get it over with. You got to slice into me. That's fine. Like, I want that. I want to see that. I want to see like, oh, you need to do a spinal tap right now? Like, just to prove that I'm in pain? Like, fine, whatever.
I've been there.
Because we have.
I've done that.
Because we need to, there needs to be, I'm throwing things.
She's flippant.
I'm flippant the pen away.
There you go.
There needs to be more awareness around the fact that being in pain is not always crippling.
Yeah. That's okay. That's what I want. I don't want like specific EDS representation. I want chronic illness representation to be pain isn't always visible.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be this stoic strong man act either.
Yeah.
It's just people
With
can be in a
pills
shit ton
behind
of
the
pain.
Yeah.
And function, or at least try to function.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I would. Yeah.
Like I want to see a professional who has like legitimate chronic illness and is hiding it, and it's not like a dramatic swoon in the middle of the episode. Like, no, I want to see like, yeah, I've been in horrible pain this entire time, and I've just been standing here waving as the crowds go by. That's what I want.
That'd be a good way to handle like all the obscure like illnesses.
Yeah.
Just show like the commonalities, like what we do.
Right.
Where we talk about the common points.
Right.
That would be nice.
And the experiential. Like it doesn't have to be super dramatized.
Well, it's TV, so that kind of does.
Yes, but also if you're gonna do it like as a character. But I don't know. Because EDS not so much, because we have so many other things that EDS is what I use as the umbrella.
Right.
But it's not like, oh, that's my favorite diagnosis, so that's the one I say first.
Right.
No. Like I have other ones, but they fit underneath.
So wait, what is your favorite? Of all your diagnoses, which one is your favorite?
You're going to answer this one for me too, right?
No.
You have to.
Why do I have to?
If I have to answer this, so do you.
Oh, no. I thought you meant for you. I was like, I'm not going to answer for you.
Answer for me. Tell me what my favorite
I was like, no, I'm not answering for you. I'll answer what mine is.
I'm really happy. I'm just stoked that they diagnosed the movement disorder and have moved past it being anxiety.
I need to actually get that looked at. I've been noting now my general random movements. Dude.
Like
especially if I'm trying to sleep.
Crazy. Yes. Oh my God. My husband, so we've been cuddling more, right?
That's what made me notice. I didn't want to mess with Jen, but I kept twitching and doing shit. Like,
yes. And so he's like holding me, and then he is feeling all of the twitching and jerking,
Yeah.
and so he'll like move his arms and like hold tighter to like hold the muscle down or something, and I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, you were shaking, I thought you were cold. I'm like, no, I'm not shaking.
No, but seriously, like I've been like last night alone, I noted like 20 or so different movements as I was falling asleep.
They're
that
like
were just,
hypnic jerks.
right.
Yeah. It's insane.
And it wasn't that like the fall feeling.
No.
It was literally just sitting there watching TV and be like,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Like, and then things move. This one right here on like the pec that goes into my armpit really likes to move.
Yeah.
That whole thing will just jump and jump and jump and jump and jump. And then I get the like biceps and I get like, it's everywhere. And it's
So
all
yeah,
the time.
I need to actually get that looked at officially.
Right?
But my favorite, try and guess what my favorite one is.
You're,
My of the diagnoses, which one?
oh, EDS.
No, that's not my favorite.
No?
My favorite is bipolar because it sounds
Oh.
so like the connotation that comes with it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
the
Like he's fucking
stigmatization.
nuts. He's
That
crazy.
guy's crazy.
It's like, yeah, I have bipolar.
Beware.
And you just unsettlingly laugh at people.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. That sounds wonderful. No,
Hey, if I'm gonna have it,
like-
I might as well make it fun.
right? I like having the one diagnosis that I fought for and had to fight to get them to believe that it wasn't panic attacks and it wasn't anxiety and it wasn't blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And now it's finally in my file as a movement disorder.
Yeah.
Which is not, I mean, it's the diagnosis of it is great. The movement disorder, not so great. I don't recommend it.
No.
But if you get the free trial, be careful.
My favorite is when
There's
you do it and you
malware.
hurt yourself.
Yes. Or you drop the same object like 7 times.
Yeah.
That was me all morning long. I tried to pick up like a thing and just couldn't pick up the thing. Or like trying to do my makeup and my arm is suddenly over here. I'm like, what? Why? Please stop it.
Yeah.
But I'm paving the way. Therefore, you'll have stuff to take to your neurologist and be like, hey, my sister has.
Yeah, pretty much. I can just piggyback.
Which
Like
will be
what
good.
you did with me with EDS. Just steal my diagnosis and then give me the shitty hypermobile. Here, just
I didn't steal
you ripped it out from under me.
I slid
And then you
into
left me with a
first
piece
place.
of paper that said, second place, you get hypermobile. What was it? Hypermobile
Hypermobility spectrum disorders.
spectrum disorder. Yeah. That's what I got. This little piece
No,
second
it
place.
says EDS now. Stop being so salty.
It's not. I'm not salty at you even. I'm salty at the doctor.
I know.
I will
I'm
forever
salty.
be salty
I
about
will
that.
always be salty about him. He's horrible. He's the absolute worst. Just the worst human.
I like how we went from, oh my God, you're still sick to media. And we just kind of skipped over like, oh my God, you're still sick.
Yeah.
Because there's not much to say that it happens.
It happens and it's stupid and it sucks. And I don't like the like one or the other. How do we convey middle ground?
I don't think there is a middle ground.
It all comes down to freaking baseline.
Yeah.
I get that like individualism is not the way to go for a lot of things, but when it comes to like scaling, I feel like you need to individualize your scaling because a 10 for me is not going to be a 10 for somebody else.
No.
And like, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
And what's functional is not going to be functional for somebody else. And what, like, it's just not. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. We need like a whole shift in the way we approach or think about it.
Yeah.
Because using just pain scale
Right.
is not a great.
Right. Well, and I'm like, what are you comparing it to?
That's why every time I go in and the doctor asks me to put my pain on a scale, I think of the most painful thing that's ever happened to me. And I tell them, I'm like, my most painful moment was post back surgery without morphine.
Oh,
when I refused to take the morphine and was like, why does it hurt so bad?
Because I'm not on the
Because they cut
morphine.
my fucking spinal cord open and ripped a tumor out.
Yep.
It was fun.
Yep.
And I refused to take morphine because I didn't
I
want
didn't
them to
want
think
them
I was
to
a
think I was
druggie.
a druggie.
It's like, no, I won't hit the morphine button.
They're like, please, God,
hit the button.
push the button or I'll push it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't do that because my brain is so good at like taking the pain memories and dumping it out the window.
Like it's supposed to. It's
exactly.
a healthy response.
You're supposed to like not remember the pain. So I can remember like the effects of the pain.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember, like, if I'm crying, it's probably a 10.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at these days. But, like, beyond that, I'm like, I don't know what is sick enough.
Oh, yeah, we can get into that on the second half.
Yeah. You want to go take a break?
Yeah, break time. Then we'll come back and talk comorbidities.
Yes.
And
taking things seriously and what's
Yeah.
ill enough.
Ill enough. That'll be a fun
Ill
one.
enough. Are you ill enough?
All right.
Treat.
So what should they do?
To do? Dang it.
I win.
You need to drink water.
Take your
and,
meds.
Have a snack because you are a snack.
Obligatory. After your meds, maybe, I don't know.
Run a marathon.
Don't run a marathon.
Don't do that. Please.
Unless you want to. You know what? Fuck it. Run that marathon. Don't let us tell you
Go,
not.
Timmy, go.
You do what you need to do. Okay? Don't let us hold you back. Especially her. She's a hateful woman.
I am a monster.
She's a monster.
Okay, so when you're done with your marathon, make sure you like have a nice shower for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Go see some sunlight if there is some sunlight. Don't burn in the sunlight because it's very hot.
Yes.
I don't know where you're at, but it's probably hot.
Take a moment. Clear your mind. Reset.
Yeah.
And don't let her hold you back.
Did you know, real quick, for people who have an internal monologue, to silence our thoughts, there is a strategy where you put your tongue against your teeth. You like hold it against the roof of your mouth, and it can help you quiet your thoughts. Because when you're running your internal monologue, your tongue is doing micro, like inflections.
Right. Interesting.
So there you go. So if you need to quiet your thoughts, you can close your mouth and put your tongue on the roof of your mouth just for a minute and see if you can just silence that.
Yeah, that's cool. Let us know if it worked.
Who knows? All right, we're going to go do some self-care stuff and we'll be back in a moment. We'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye. Fantastic Pains now has merch. I know we've been promising it for a while, but it is here. You can find our stuff at fantastic-pains.creator-spring.com. We have t-shirts, hoodies, leggings, wine coolers, I guess you can call them, and my very favorite backpack. So take a minute, go check us out.
Welcome back. How was your break? Ours was pretty good. Went outside, watched the kids clean up a string mess.
Yeah.
Silly string.
I almost said string cheese.
No, that would be poisonous. That would be wrong. If they were using the silly string as string cheese.
Oh my God. I was like, if they had string cheese all over the place, that would be poisonous?
Yeah, little known fact.
He doesn't believe that string cheese is okay to eat.
Nope. It's clearly not.
It's an abomination.
So we came back in a great mood. I'm glad you're here to witness it.
Hi. Welcome to the insanity.
Let's see. For this half, we're going to talk a bit about the comorbidities that come with EDS and how do we identify what's what.
Yes. And what is an emergency.
Right.
And what's not.
Where, like, let's say you have horrible stomach acid problems and you're like, is that comorbid or is that its own thing?
Right. Right. Because you're like, the first time a neurologist was like, you can have this and that, right? Like, they might not be the same thing. Because you're like, wait, is this EDS?
Yeah.
I'm confused now.
What is and what isn't EDS? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, like, I think I've said this before. I use EDS as the umbrella.
Yeah.
And everything else kind of falls beneath it. But that's not the case, and that's not how they interact.
No.
But it's the easiest way to explain it to people.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh, yeah, I have EDS and POTS and mast cell activation syndrome. Oh, you don't know what POTS is? That's postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Oh, EDS? That's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
How many syndromes do you have? Damn.
I am syndrome.
Oh.
No one is special.
No one. Okay, so then what are some of the comorbidities that get confused or lost in the mess?
Oh, yes. Well, a lot of the time people I feel like the stomach issues get passed over a lot.
Yes.
Because unless you're like hyper aware of gastroparesis and how it presents within EDS, it's hard to like connect the two and be like, oh, these two things might be related. You're just like, I have EDS, but I also like to throw up twice a week.
Yeah. It took me a long time to make the connection.
Mm-hmm.
Even after we were diagnosed, I was like, it was its own thing.
Right.
Until I think you were the one who was like, no, that's probably connected.
Right.
It's like, that can't be connected. GERD? No.
Right.
That's its own thing.
It's that whole neuropathy piece.
Yeah. And
because EDS is weird and our nerve fibers are broken. They're just broken. I don't know. Our stomachs may not empty appropriately. Mm-hmm. Our guts may not move appropriately. We wind up pinching off nerves that are important for gut health. Dysphagia is another one, the difficulty in swallowing. You can wind up with spasms like I have that I didn't realize were different from the stomach problems.
Right.
So I had the stomach problems, and then I was like, okay, but what is this part? Because this is weird. Mm-hmm. So, and that was like esophageal spasms and gut spasms and that whole fun time. So, yeah, the EDS can kind of take focus sometimes, and then we worry about collecting diagnoses.
Oh, yeah. Well, I still do that. Like,
and then you're like, oh, I can't go in because I can't have another thing.
Well, and trying to figure out if the new thing is a new thing or not.
Right.
Like,
how long is this weird new thing going to last? Is it overnight? Mm-hmm. Is it a week? Will it still be there by the time I get to see a doctor?
No. It'll disappear the night before you see your doctor.
You'll be perfectly healthy when they see you. It'll be great.
And you'll forget all about it because you're not experiencing it, so it's gone.
So you'll go in and they're going to be like, "Oh, how's your shoulder?" And you're like, "Oh, knee." Can we talk about the knee?
Yeah, new problem.
Shoulder, no. You're too late.
Mm-hmm.
You missed the bus. I'm trying to think. What other things did you kind of discover along the way?
I was trying to think about them in order. Because I had that side pain first, which was huge.
Yeah.
And even that could be connected too, because that was from neurofibromatosis.
Yeah.
It's a schwannoma, and I have tumors on my back that are all the schwannomas.
Yep. So which they're like little nerve fiber tumors.
Nerve encasing tumors.
Yeah.
And there are studies that suggest they're connected.
Really?
To EDS, yeah. That there can be a connection.
I think there's got to be, because when your collagen's screwed up, like those proteins are not binding correctly. Mm-hmm. And then if you think about the way we scar, that makes sense. Yeah. Because what happens when we scar is it heals in this like almost like a cocoon around where the injury site is or was. And so
like it's always trying to get rid of a foreign body.
Right.
Even when it's just healing normally.
When it's just its own skin. Mm-hmm. It's like the injury turns inside out. Sorry for that imagery.
Whoops.
But that's why like we found that massage is so helpful.
Yeah.
To deal with the scar tissue. And that can relieve a lot of pain. Like a lot of pain. Holy cow. Mm-hmm. Dealing with that scar tissue is big. But like with your side pain, that was not easily connected to EDS.
That wasn't easy to diagnose to begin with.
Right.
Like they
were like kidneys.
Yeah, we did. I had to see a nephrologist and do kidney biopsies. And then we did colonoscopies and then endoscopies to check the other end.
Yep. And
then we had to go back and do more. There was another thing we had to do in between before I did my imaging. Because the imaging was for something else. The imaging that found the tumor was for, the ileus. There was that part of my intestine that wasn't functioning.
Yeah.
So we were doing imaging for that. And then they found the tumor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
And all the stomach stuff I didn't equate to EDS for a long time.
Right.
Like that was its own thing. I just have bad digestion, I thought.
Yeah. Well, and I was throwing up all the time and had no idea. And the funny thing is, like, when we're really bad, we eat ice cream. Like a ton of ice cream.
Not gonna lie, before you got here, I ate a pint of ice cream.
I'm gonna have a pint of ice cream for dinner, so judge me as you will. No, I'll probably make pizza rolls. That's a much better decision, right?
She's an adult.
Aren't you proud of me? I know how to stay alive.
Well, food goes
Calories,
in, energy comes out.
I don't know. I turn into a furnace at night, apparently.
So do I.
Because I do that crazy, like, vibration thing.
I've told the story before. When I went with Vizzy and Kaylee to the convention in San Jose, and we had to share a king-size bed.
Yeah.
And there was Vizzy and then Kaylee and then me on the outside. And I slept on top of the covers because I was hot. And Kaylee couldn't sleep next to me after the first day because it was so hot.
Too hot. Well, and that's the thing. I'm like, that's where our like whole calorie output comes from.
Yeah.
It was like shaking in our sleep. And then my husband was feeling all the muscle movements because we've been, again, like snuggling again. And he's like trying to hold down the muscles that are twitching.
Just misfires.
Like, exactly. That's what it feels like. Or like a systems check is what I used to call it. Because when they do that weird thing where it goes up a muscle train. And so you have like, it twitches in my thumb and then in my forearm and then up here and then over here. Like, it's weird. And they thought they were seizures for a while.
Yeah.
And then
I really need to get that looked at.
Right.
Like some of them last night were so severe. It was like I was kicking a soccer ball.
Yeah.
While laying down. Cause it was like, bam! Like my whole body
I've had
twitch.
some that have dislocated things. Like when the spasms get bad and they just pull out of the blue and nothing else is expecting that to happen.
Yeah. Everything else is relaxed.
Brace, and so you wind up dislocating things in your sleep.
Yeah.
What is that?
Where's our representation of that?
Right?
Media.
I want like not casual illness. Don't make illness like casual, but let's normalize what it looks like in reality.
Yeah.
Because it's not always like the worst of the worst.
No.
And then it's not like, oh, I can't see your illness, therefore you must be totally functional. And that's a really big problem because we live in a society where your only value is what you can produce. So that's nice.
Remind you to yourself, you are more than what you can produce.
Absolutely. You have value because you have value because you are a human being. End of story. And if no one's told you lately, I love you. So there.
She doesn't, but I do. I mean it.
Stole and undermined my I love you. Can you believe that?
Watch me gaslight her. You never said that.
I never said that?
You never said that.
You're going to gaslight me about what I said. Oh, we're going hardball now, huh?
What?
Bitch.
Sorry.
Sibling time.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know. I'm trying to think. So you said in order. So what came next?
Because
they found the tumor on accident. And they were like, maybe this is the side pain.
Yeah. And then we did the removal,
Yep.
and it was the side pain.
Yeah.
But then also like the weird reaction I have to medications, like where I throw up most things.
Yeah.
It's just a sensitive stomach, really.
Right.
There's something in the extended release meds
yeah,
that disagrees with me.
Yeah.
And in a lot of just pain meds in general.
Yeah, you have a harder time. Like I have an easier time, but I have like, oh
Wow.
That was quite the sound. I have this thing where I have like a sleep phase, and if I miss the sleep phase, then I'm prone to getting ill.
Right.
From the medication. So I'm like, either it will tranquilize me or I will have to fight to not throw it up.
Yeah.
But I've also not tried nearly as many things as you have.
I was a guinea pig for a while.
Yeah. They were like, let's just throw drugs at him and hope it goes away.
They took the Medicaid recommendation list and we started from the top of tier 1 and got all the way to like tier 4, the bottom.
Which is so funny to me that like people can still turn around and be like, oh, they're drug seeking. And you're like, really?
That's my favorite.
Really?
Like, you want drug seeking? I could easily have fentanyl patches.
You had fentanyl.
I could just
and hated them.
Oh no, horrible experience.
Yeah, no.
Horrible experience.
The only other things I have experience with are Vicodin and morphine. And morphine is like if Tylenol worked.
Right.
That's what morphine feels like. And then Vicodin doesn't do anything and it makes me cranky. I don't like it.
Each one has its own like mood that comes with it. I remember them from the month based on what mood I was in most of the time, which is really weird. So like I associate like Opana was one of them, and it was like mellow puking.
Mellow puking.
Like
great.
I was
zen and throwing up.
Yeah. It really was. It was like,
Terrible.
it would hit.
Like
and I'd
if
be
you were puking in your sleep almost.
kinda.
You're like, I'm aware, but not really.
Mm-hmm. And then there was like, what was it? One of them made me just shake all the time. Like I was on vibrate,
Ugh.
but not like
Not the
unintentional.
same kind.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting, like when your leg like,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? When your leg's just going like this, like
The bounce. Yeah.
and you're like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable.
Ugh.
So it was like angst.
Yeah.
I should just go through the list.
So you're
and
like, your
rename
brain itches.
each one to the mood that goes with it.
You're like, this
Fentanyl.
one, it's a mood ring. Only
Fentanyl
drugs.
was horrible. Butrans, also horrible.
Yeah, no, those were like, let's vomit profusely.
Let's swell,
Yeah,
sweat,
no.
confuse you, and make you throw up.
Oh, yeah, hallucinations.
Mm-hmm.
No. And I'm like, I know what works.
Yeah.
And so I stick with what works. And they're like, I even, so people always ask like how I go through the process of like leading your doctor to solutions and things. There was a point where I was like, let's try Vicodin again, just in case, because this might help. Because they were like, oh, you're getting used to the Percocet, and that's why you have to up your dose. And I was like, okay, fine, we'll switch and see what happens. Yeah. And so we did that, and I was like, I am absolutely miserable, and this whole month sucks, and I would like to be done now. And so now they know. I'm like, hydrocodone doesn't do anything for me, and it makes me mad. I don't like it. It makes me sick and mad. But I'm also not nearly as sensitive stomach as you are.
No.
I have a very sensitive like palate.
Yeah.
So I will like look at food, or lately it's been like I'm eating food. I'm in the process of eating food. I've already had bites of whatever's in my mouth. And then
you decide that.
And then my body's like, no, get it out now.
Yeah.
I will not swallow this. I will not tolerate any longer. I'm like, why? Please.
Yep.
So you have the stomach things.
Stomach stuff for sure.
Yep.
Or the movement stuff more recently.
Yeah.
Like I've always had twitches and stuff, and I never thought it was more than just like a normal twitch.
Right.
Or like spasm. But after like watching you go through everything and then actually noting it, like, because before I would just blow it off. It wasn't until recently that I'm like, oh, pay attention to what's going on.
Right.
And I was like, wow.
Right. Because
like,
I don't think we were on cam when we were talking about how you're noticing more of the like crazy twitching.
No, it is,
which is not good. I don't recommend, but hopefully you'll be on a like straighter path since I've gone through it. Because seriously, it took me, because I used to describe the first ones as it was like having a heart attack and a stroke at the same time. And they were like panic attack. And I'm like, okay, but I can ground through the entire thing. But my body is freaking out. And I get those like adrenaline dumps on top of it sometimes. Sometimes, not nearly as much anymore, thank goodness. But it took forever to get away from the idea that it was anxiety.
Yeah.
And into the like, no, I have like a base tremor. And then I have neuropathies. This makes sense. And I know the neurologist was like, no, I don't think the movement disorder is related to the neuropathies. But I'm still curious how much like overlap there is.
Yeah.
Because there seems to be so much overlap with everything.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And especially with the unholy trinity, when you have the MCAS, the POTS, and the EDS, and then you have a flare. And it's not just a like, oh, this is an MCAS flare, and oh, this is a POTS flare. It's a flare.
Yeah.
Your whole system is rejecting reality all at once. And it's like, oh yeah, the weather changed, sort of. Time to explode.
It's explosion time.
We're self-destructing. You didn't know that was a feature?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's how it feels. What else lives under that umbrella? Because we've got the like stomach stuff. So you have the gastroparesis, the dysphagia, and the GERD.
Yeah, we didn't talk much about the dysphagia, but like being unable to swallow.
Yeah.
It happens to me a lot, especially recently. I haven't been able to swallow water even. It just sits there. Like I'm like, swallow.
I hate that. And it's like, it's not like you can't swallow because there's like a lump in your throat. It's like literally you are trying to tell it to swallow, but your brain's like, not found. Swallow, your throat, not found.
Yeah.
Like, this command is unavailable.
Yeah, and what sucks is that like your body wants you to drink more, like
to
more
try
water,
to like wash it down.
but you're like, I need to breathe at some point.
I have water in
like,
my mouth.
I don't want to drown because I didn't swallow my water. Like I hate it.
And then sometimes you force it, and it goes directly into your nose.
Yes,
that's
there's
fun.
that.
I like that. Someone actually told me they were soft palate spasms, and I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been Ruth, actually.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ruth. Get on.
Okay, so how do you go about vetting a new symptom? Like, when do you go, oh, this is a real symptom, first of all, and then how do you go, oh, that's connected to EDS? Because I assume that,
like, how you connect it to one or the other.
Yeah, like how do you decide that that's a comorbidity and not just some random thing?
Yeah. Well, and I find that
research.
Yeah. Well, and apparently, and this is not like a vain thing that I'm about to say, but I'm good at like connecting threads.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so I can think about something and be like, okay, logically, this could be connected to this, could be connected to this, could be connected to this. And so for me, it's a matter of finding the correct search terms a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But like vetting new symptoms.
I was gonna say, yeah. How long does it take before you take it seriously?
More than a week, usually.
Okay.
Unless it's like severe and acute. So when I was having really awful gallbladder pain, which I found is much better when I'm not eating red meat.
Right.
So if I have like beef, my gallbladder gets upset. But when that was first happening, I was like, okay, it's too high to be the appendix. And so that ruled out the like, this is an emergency piece for me. And then it was a matter of like, how long does this last? What makes it better? What makes it worse? And kind of collecting all of the information that I knew the doctors were going to ask for. Yeah. And I was going to feel like an ass if I didn't have.
Fair. So tracking it.
Yeah. Just keeping track of like, when did it show up? What are the like contributing factors? Like I said, what makes it better? What makes it worse? All of that. Because the thing is, if you think about what makes it better and what makes it worse, you can kind of determine what system is upset with you. Because like, oh, heat makes it better, so maybe it's a muscle tissue thing, you know. But usually it's more than a week before I start taking anything like seriously. Yeah. Unless it's severe. And that severe for me is like, I'm unable to stand up.
Yeah,
well, or I can't put weight on something.
You have those like new symptoms that kind of like sneak in silently and then kind of get louder.
Right.
And then you have the other ones that kick the fucking door down and go, "Hey, what's up?" And you're like,
"I'm here," and you're like, "I didn't invite you."
Yeah, who are you?
Why?
What
is happening? But it's also hard to like vet yourself when you have other people trying to vet you from the wrong baseline.
Yeah.
So you have people who are like, it's an emergency. And you're like, no, it's not.
You could be like me and have Jen find things for you. Well, because like I'll talk about things as they happen, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be like, oh, I'm in pain. This hurts. Or, oh, this and this. And then, you know, Jen will get back to me like a week later and be like, so this is a new thing you've been going through. And I'll be like, oh, you're right.
Jen's really good at keeping track. And I think it's mostly intuitive.
Well, it's because I've become more explicit. Just
when
it happens, you just say it.
That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
A huge difference.
Oh, sorry,
and like you were like, oh my God. Even you and I going back and forth, that's a way to track it. And be like, hey, I have a new thing and my ow. My something is uncomfortable and ow now.
Accountability buddies.
Right. Like that's how I kind of tracked the numbness in my hands. Because I was like, okay, so I had an injury that kind of alerted me to the problem. And then I did it again. And I was like, not just the one finger. And then I went through and I was feeling all the insides. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. We don't have a lot of sensation through there. And I've known for a while that I have reduced sensation on the left side. Just overall. Which is weird. And I have reduced reflex on the left leg and that ankle. So like knee and ankle reflexes are bye-bye. They don't exist. So being able to connect symptoms to other symptoms and be like, oh, this could be a progression of something else. Like, this is obviously, I was like, it's either med problem, because I've heard, and this was my like Facebook group mind, where you're like, I've heard people talk about gabapentin way back when. Where they were like, it killed all my nerves.
Yep.
But in reality, I was
and
like,
then you're applying that to now.
Right.
Right.
And so I had to go back and like really think about it and be like, okay, so it's either a medication problem or this is just a problem. And then the doctor was like, I don't think that's meds. You're going to have the feeling.
Well, I mean, so really it comes down to a matter of tracking it, tracking new ones.
Yeah.
And being just, I guess, more aware of everything overall. Yeah. And then connecting it, like you said, like tracking it, notice what you've been doing when. Yeah.
I'm bad at the like notice what led up to it though, because I can be like, oh, this hurts horribly, and then forget that I had like dug a hole.
Oh, I do that
2
all the
days
time.
ago.
And then I get called stupid.
I mean, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, but no one calls you out for being stupid.
I get called out for being other things.
For other explicit
I was like,
things.
I don't know.
For hurting yourself intentionally.
For having bad ankles.
Yeah.
But there's a couple different ways of vetting, right? Like, and a couple different like needs to vet. Because you'd be like, is this a serious problem that needs emergency attention? But how do you go about doing that? Because I think you've had more experience with that because A, I'm stubborn, and B, usually it's not an emergency.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of things I've gone in for.
And at what point do you go in?
Well,
at what point do you decide, oh, okay, it's doctor time?
It depends on what, right? So, like, if I'm feeling like it's a heart or chest issue, those I take seriously, like, right away. Okay. Even though we get the chest stabbies, like, I'm sure everyone gets it. Right. Or heartburn. But I know what heartburn feels like. Right. You know what I mean? But they're always like, oh, it's heartburn. Like, it's not. It really isn't. No. But if it's anything like respiratory or heart related, I'll usually go into, like, urgent care for that.
Smart.
Like, right away. Yeah. Because then they'll just do an EKG and you can move on with your life. Right. Make sure that it's not something serious. Yeah. Otherwise, I kind of get a vibe about it. I'm sure you do too. Like if it's serious, you know. Yes. There's like that sinking feeling in your stomach. You're like, oh, that's different and not lightly.
When I'm like, oh, something is very wrong in there. Like, remember I was like, something is wrong in my chest because my collarbone and my shoulder were switching places and stuff. Like, I don't know. Right. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying because there's like, this is an emergency versus, that's kind of weird. I should probably get that checked out.
I think it has to do with more with being an unknown.
Yes.
Because I've hurt myself so bad that like I've been on the ground with both of my knees dislocated and stuck to the point where I can't do anything until Jen gets home from work hours later. So I just sit there.
I've had mornings like that.
That's an emergency, but not an emergency, you know?
I've done that actually where I've texted my boss and been like, I've dislocated my hip. I'm at home alone, sitting on my stairs, crying and trying to get it fixed. I will be in when I can get in.
Right. Well, okay, let's say
it's not like a 911 emergency.
Right. Let's say that was the first time that's happened to you in your life. You've never dislocated anything.
Oh, Jesus.
But both your knees are now dislocated and you're stuck on the floor. You call 911.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Right. But for us, it's different.
Right.
So if it's new and unknown, that's usually when I even like think about it.
Like you cock your ears toward it, basically. Yeah.
And if I'm really unsure, I call the nurse hotline so that when I go in, they'll be like, the nurse hotline told me to come in.
Right. I do that with Kaiser because they have that like chat feature.
Yeah.
So I'm like, here are my symptoms. This is kind of weird. Here's the context. And then they're like, you should probably go. I will let them know you're coming. Right. And then I feel better about going.
Oh, absolutely. I need the excuse because otherwise you do get the like, why are you here? Yeah. And then it looks bad.
And then you shut down.
Right.
Especially when you're like, okay, everything's going to be fine. Because how many EKGs have we had?
Oh, so many.
Oh, my God.
I've had one bad one, though. I mean, I had to get that angio, but.
I had all those like abnormal Q waves.
Yeah. Your Q waves.
Yeah. Scare everybody to death. Yeah. Which is kind of funny. But also not funny. Because it could be a heart problem. But like you.
Could be.
Like you said, we get a sense.
Right.
Like when I was talking to my therapist and I was like, she's like, but it could be a heart problem. And I was like, no, it's not. She's
Yeah.
like, how confident are you that it's not a problem? And I was like, 100% confident that I am totally fine.
And I think you can apply that to most anybody with EDS who's paying attention.
Yeah.
Because
we're aware.
Right. You're always paying attention to your body anyways.
Right.
Because you have to worry about dislocations or subluxing or
how to
moving
put something
the wrong
back.
way. Right.
Yeah.
So you kind of instinctually know when it's bad.
Right.
Like bad.
Yeah. Well, and my trainer said that we are the, like, Bug and I, because she worked with Bug before too, are like the most body aware people that she's ever worked with. Because I can tell you exactly what's out and where.
Yeah.
At any given time. Like, I know right now my tailbone is sitting off to the side.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. That hurts pretty bad. And then my knee right now is pulling on a tendon. It's not dislocated, but somehow
I'm doing that too. My left leg is
the tendon is like angry and it's pulling and it's hurting the hip. Both of my ankles are terrible.
Right.
But like, we are aware of things.
Yeah.
And for us, I think it's like, once we can name it and we know it's not going to kill us.
Yeah.
We're like, I'm good. I can deal with this.
Yeah.
This is not emergency. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a point I was going to get to, but I lost it.
Unknown piece. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It was more of an additional thought. But I don't know. It's gone.
Oh, okay.
It's gone now.
I was like, you know what it is. You're not going to share? Rude.
No, it was. I mean, if in doubt, go to a doctor.
If in doubt, get it checked out.
Right. It doesn't have to be urgent care either.
Right.
You see your primary care. If
right.
you know.
Well, and some places will be like, if you call during the day, they will put you in, maybe not with your doctor or your team, but they will have
somebody
spots where
right.
you can come into the clinic and be seen in a non-emergency capacity.
Right. Like, you know, if you're worried, but not worried.
Right. Like,
err on caution.
Right. Well, and that's usually what happens when I go in, is usually like, hey, this is a symptom. It's kind of weird. I do have all these other factors, but I wanted to make sure it's not
I
a
always
thing.
do that.
And they're like, okay, let's just check you out then.
Well, and when you're like that, when you're more upfront about everything as a whole, they have a better understanding.
Yes.
And they know what to look for, and they kind of build up that trust quicker.
Right.
You're being
and that's
transparent.
important when you, like, if you're like me and you have to go get fluids sometimes because you've dehydrated yourself to the point of death.
Because you sweat in your sleep.
Right. And then you fail to drink water a lot. But you go in and you're like, here's what's going on. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
This is the history of this. I just need fluids to make it better. Because without all of that, like, explicit legwork, they look at you like, oh, just another hungover person who needs fluids. We're going to make them wait 700 years.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I'd rather go to a bar. I've done it before.
You have. You've gone to
a... like an IV bar. It's expensive.
But you did it.
I've done it.
It worked.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think there is that, like, vibe. Because even when you're in hospital, I'm like, I have a vibe about it, and I think you're okay.
Oh yeah, no. If there was there was like a serious emergency, I
think we'd know.
We would both know. And
right, like the tooth, we knew. We knew that wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, that's not okay. Like, this is a problem.
Yeah.
But
no, like when I went in for the angio and everything, I wasn't worried.
Right.
I was just being safe. Like, they wanted to test.
Right.
Make sure that I'm not good.
We make doctors feel better.
Yeah.
Especially because if you tell them you faint, they really, really hate that.
Yeah.
They don't like hearing that you fainted.
But yeah, I mean, did you even visit me at the hospital when I was in?
No.
I didn't think so.
We
were
messaged,
out,
and then
all the time.
Even while we were messaging, I was like, I'm pretty sure. Like, it didn't come out that way. I wasn't just like, I'm pretty sure you went for no reason. Duh.
No,
it was
we
like,
were both talking about it.
Like, you were like, I'm not worried. And I was like, okay, secret time. I wasn't worried either.
Right. No.
But I didn't want to offend you and be like, I don't care about you.
No, I know better.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be offended regardless.
Right.
Even if you were like, yeah, you're in there for no reason, stupid. I'd be like, yeah, you're right.
But like, I'll message you from the urgent care and be like, I live here now.
Yeah.
I'm back, but it's not an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
But other people can read it as an emergency.
Yeah.
They're like,
Very
it says
true.
urgent care. What's wrong with you?
It's just so weird what we pass off as normal anymore.
I know.
It's hard to think about people who don't have the like medical life. You know,
Yeah.
like they don't see their doctors all the time. They do like a checkup once a
Right?
year, and
And then
It's
they
weird.
live.
I can't.
What?
I have to see multiple doctors a month for everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, and that's why, like, adjusting the baseline is important,
Yeah.
because if you're measuring from a normal people baseline, everything's an emergency all the time.
Mm-hmm.
No. Of course you're worried about me.
Yeah.
Also, stop it. I'm fine. I'm fine for me. And that's exactly it. And I think that's important. And it's important to, like, remember that other people are not reading you from your baseline. They're reading you from their baseline.
Yeah.
Which is not the same thing. Where are we still?
I think I'm pretty confident we covered most things.
Awesome. It's a good topic.
Yeah. I want to do a deeper dive on some of it later.
Right? I want to go back into, like, in media and pull some examples out. And
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what that looks like. Especially for Ehlers-Danlos, because we get the, like...
There's a documentary now that you found.
Yeah.
There was another one I found that was done in England
Oh, really?
a while back, but it was kind of short-lived.
Okay.
Not short-lived. It was
This-
just a short
this-
documentary.
The one I found was pretty short, too, but it was... I don't know. It was interesting. It was a tale of neglect.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't like this is what EDS is. It was
Oh.
more like, my life is horrible and ruined.
Oh.
EDS. But that's what I'm saying, is the whole problem is that we have, like, it's fine and I'm dandy and I can do backflips. And then you have, like, and then I died
Mm-hmm.
4 times on a Saturday. Like,
I just had a weird realization that we're the media. Like what we're putting out is technically media about EDS.
Yeah.
It's a weird thought. And we're putting out there it sucks.
It does.
This is what it looks like,
It's
and
not
it sucks.
fun. Like, I'm not going to run around and be like, I'm an inspiration. Don't ever call me an inspiration.
She's so inspirational.
Ew.
My guys.
No.
Yeah.
But, like, why can't we be real about things?
Yeah.
Like, yes, it sucks. It's not a fun time. And I understand other people have it worse than we do.
Oh, totally.
But, like, we're not trying to be comparative here.
exactly.
We're trying to be, like, honest and
Yeah.
real world and
shared experiences.
exactly. Like, let's sit down and
Somebody
go
who
through
has
the averages.
like the version of EDS where they just have stretchy skin, they still have to deal with shit that's very similar to
Right.
what we have to deal with. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Like, their skincare is totally different, I'm
Mhm.
sure. And I mean, we have stretchy skin, but our skin just likes to, like, ball up and create
Right. But you get what I
scar
mean.
tissue.
Like
But- Yeah.
there are people who have it way worse and there are people that have it better.
Yeah.
But it's not what we're about.
And that's with every condition, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't all end the same place.
Truth.
And
Very true.
that's the big one for, like, when we talk about getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, it gets different.
Yeah.
Maybe not worse, maybe not better.
Oh yeah, we should share that.
It gets different.
We haven't said that in a while.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of people recently. But the way we look at it
Mm-hmm.
is that it's not always worse. It's not a downhill trend. It could just be different.
Right.
Like, I'm having a great year compared to the last years.
Yeah.
Like, I've had some really deep down lows and I've had to do a ton of surgeries, but I'm way better off now than I was.
Right.
It's
Well, and I'm, aside from where POTS is at, I'm doing much better than I was this time last year
Mhm.
because we're actually treating the movement disorder.
Right.
Amazing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I just don't get stuck on the whole, as I get older, it'll get worse.
Right.
Because it might not. It just gets different. Like,
Right.
you'll have, maybe your knees will be bad next year, but your shoulders will be great. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, and that fear is not going to do anything but hold you back from the things that you want in life and
Yep.
want to do. And that part still baffles me about, like, when I was in the pain and PTSD group,
Mhm.
where it's like, I can't do this because of consequence. And I'm like, but consequence anyway.
Right.
I have to, consequence
Well,
is
like,
coming.
the funny thing is,
I'm
like,
go do the thing.
we're
and
planning
earn
on,
it.
on hitting Elitches, right?
Yes.
I'm like, that's going to suck.
Oh, it's going to suck so hard.
But worth
it's
it.
going to be fun.
Oh my God. The kids are so
It's
excited
going to
too.
be fun.
They were picking out what rides they're going to try.
Yes.
Like, I got them into it. What?
I don't know if I hallucinated or if there was something black that went by my face. I think it's just this like dots from the lights.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what's happening? I'm scared of the window. Curtain.
There you go.
Curtain. So that might mean it's time to go.
Yeah. I want to say real quick before we go that I'm excited that we've had so many new people join.
Yes.
Join in the sub train.
Yeah.
And join the Discord. It's been really great to get to know you guys. Like,
oh my gosh. And having like, again, that many voices piece is just so important. So important to hear from different people on different things, because there is no standard experience. There is no blueprint for chronic illness, and everybody's living it their own way. And the more people we can get to share those experiences, the closer we are to our goal of not alone.
Yeah. And we pulled our subject from our Discord today.
Yes, which is really cool. I love being able to talk about things that are relevant to you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And I hope we got somewhere with this discussion. We didn't skip over a part that you were attached to.
If we did, just remind us and we'll hit it up next time.
Right. Right.
We get lost in tangents easily.
I know. Well, and we started kind of low energy, and now we've perked up a little bit. But
yeah, let's go backwards.
It's sleepy time. I have to feed my dogs, and then I have to go to work in the morning.
I'm sorry.
It's fun.
I'll edit. It'll be fun. I'll work with you.
In spirit.
Yeah.
I still don't have my stuff hooked up at all. And I'm like, I don't even know how I'm getting paid for the 2 days last month.
Yeah.
No clue. It's a mess. But oh well.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. But yeah, it gets different. So don't fear the future.
It gets different. We like you newbies, and we gotta go.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
It is the time. The time. But not for the weekly recap. Time for bye-byes and sleeping at night.
So.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming along. We really enjoyed the conversation. It was a really good one. Thank you guys for suggesting it in the Discord. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. And I guess until the next time, be kind to you. Be kind to others. And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.